This meeting is being recorded.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Team Faith and Soul. If you're catching this, you're more likely catching the replay on our YouTube channel. So thanks so much for hanging out with us there and catching the replay. So today with Team Faith and Soul, we are going to cover the basics of Canva. Canva is very near and dear to my heart. If you know me, you know that I love being creative and working with color and just spreading my personality and just, basically that. And Canva is actually really cool. It's something not to be so intimidated by. And luckily for those of y'all that are watching, if you're a Scentsy consultant, I will be sharing a Facebook group that you are more than welcome to join. It's for all Scentsy consultants, and it's actually specifically for Canva only. So we'll dive into that at the very end. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so we got that. And then, Wybon, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and dive in to Canva. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over just the basics as far as what your Canva dashboard is going to look like. For those of y'all that want to start with Canva, you may actually you'll probably have the free version. This is the paid version. And as Yvonne and I were talking about earlier, there is not really too much of a difference when it comes to paid versus free. There's just content that you have access to that otherwise you wouldn't when you're getting the free version. But other than that, there's so much like possibility that you can do for not actually paying for it. So let's just go ahead and go over the basics. And to be honest with you guys, like I love using Canva, but there's a lot on here, a whole lot, honestly, that I have not even like dove into. And I think I've had Canva for well over a year now, because they did send me a little award a while back for creating so many designs in Canva. So there's a lot here, honestly, that I haven't played around with. I try to keep it as stupid simple as possible. So I don't tend to like navigate around a lot of this, but the more important parts would be, just so you know, like when you're wanting to start from scratch, you can actually go over here where it says create a design. And honestly, just like a lot of things with your business, with Scentsy, my opinion of any of this is just to dive right in and don't overthink it. Like play around with it. That's honestly the best way that I've learned how to do any of this, any content, anything that I do with Scentsy, with my own business, and honestly what I do personal on the side. Any of this, I just play around with it. There's tons of other trainings, by the way, on YouTube of other consultants that share what they do through Canva. So I do recommend going to YouTube and checking that out, especially if you're wanting to dive in a little bit more with Canva. Otherwise, it's just one of those things that, create a profile if you haven't already and just play around with it. The more that Team Faith and Soul, more that we get into Canva, and if you guys are already using it, be sure to reach out and let me know, because I can definitely share a lot of my templates with y'all. But I just don't want to overwhelm you, in case I know a lot of you guys with Team Faith and Soul are curious about Canva, but haven't gotten really into it. So this is basically your like bare minimum of where you could start from scratch. This, to me, in my opinion, going to create a design is a little bit more advanced. And the reason why I say that is because you're starting with a blank slate. So it really just depends upon like what you're wanting to do. In my opinion, like when I first started with Canva, I actually used other people's templates, and we'll go through that in a little bit and see what that looks like. But when you're getting a little bit more the hang of wanting to start from nothing and just work from a blank canvas, that's where you want to do is create a design and then start from scratch. Like, for example, if you didn't know this, you can actually create Facebook posts, and like I actually create our Facebook cover photo for our team page through Canva, along with my VIP group as well. So that, for example, is just something that you could play around with. And then now you can see why I say like it's a little bit more advanced in my opinion, because like I said, you're starting from a blank slate. However, Y'all will have access to some of this, but I just want to go over real quick. For example, when you have the paid version, that's what this means is anything that you see and you hover over that says Pro, if you're doing the paid version, you have access to it versus if you don't pay the paid version, then you can still look at it, but you won't be able to use it. But as you can see here, there's still a good variety on the left-hand column that you could use. And let's just say, for example, because we're just going to have a little bit of fun tonight and play around. So let's just say, for example, you're wanting to create a party Facebook cover photo for a host or even for like your VIP group. So you could just always, if you wanted to, type in a specific word if you're wanting to. And I love stuff like this because you can easily, like, I'm not going to lie, like I can spend hours in Canva just because I love creating things. I love playing around. So let's just use, I don't want to like overthink it too much. Which one am I feeling? Let's just say, oh, that's the Pro. I don't want to do that one. Let's see, because that wouldn't help y'all at all. And this is where I get indecisive. Honestly, this is probably why most of the time I start from scratch, just because choosing a template can be a little bit stressful. All right, so let's just choose this one because, okay, no, she looks kind of angry. Let's not do that one. She looked really cute from a distance. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, but I'm not really feeling that one.
It's probably because of what's in her glass.
Right? I'm like, obviously she's happy about what she got. So let's just keep it simple. Let's just use something like this, for example. So if you're wanting to create a cover photo for, and a reason why I picked this one is because I don't want to spend a lot of time like choosing photos. Or actually, you know what? This one looks really cute. On a whim, let's just use that. So whenever you find something like this is basically like what we can call like a template. And what I like about doing this a whole lot more than starting from scratch most of the time, especially when you're starting out in the beginning, is because believe it or not, you can actually switch out everything on this entire, almost everything on this entire template, which is really cool. And what I mean by that, for example, is if you click on where it has like the background here, if you see here in the little middle corner here, it actually identifies the color of the background. But when you click on that, which is really cool, it's going to give you options for your color palette. Now, not to go into too much of like a rabbit hole, but this will be totally another training for another day. But excuse me, let me get some water. This is what I sound like after doing another Zoom before this. Okay, so what's really cool about Canva is Canva gives you an opportunity to do what we call like your branding. So for those of y'all that have been with Cincy or Team Faith and Soul for a minute, or perhaps you have been with another MLM business before, you may have perhaps at one time or another heard the term branding. Basically what that means is your aesthetic, who you are, what colors you like. Like, for example, I tend to choose a different color palette per season. Now, for some of you guys that are just starting out with Cincy or are fairly new to Team Faith and Soul, you could be like, okay, Megan, wait a minute. Like you said, you have a color palette. And that is something that if you would have asked me when I first joined Cincy what that meant or what that was, from a retail perspective, because I worked in retail, it definitely made sense to me. But from Cincy, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like a color palette, that doesn't even make any sense. So what I mean by that is what colors you're drawn to. Like what colors do you wear more often, or what colors speak to you? Like, for example, for me, during the fall winter time, I like more jewel tones. So when you're in Canva, one super cool thing, and I will actually show you an example, because we're going to switch this photo out. So any photos that you have saved to your phone or your computer, tablet, you can upload through Canva. So for example, for right now, before we get into like the whole color spiel, I'm going to switch out a photo, okay? Because obviously this is not my family. So we're going to need to switch out these photos. So I clicked on this photo here, these cute little kids. And what you want to do is you want to go over here to where it says uploads. Now, granted, if I wanted to work with a photo that I'd already uploaded, that's where I could go here. Otherwise, I'm going to hop over here. And then see, as you can see here, these are all the photos and content that I've uploaded that I've used at one time or another. But I'm going to go ahead and use something else as an example. So I'm going to go to where I have my stuff that's uploaded. And I just so happened to download the warmer of the month for September. So let me go ahead and right there. And these photos, by the way, can be found on your workstation underneath marketing. And I'm just going to use this as an example because I don't plan on like permanently keeping this. Oh, sorry. Just kidding. Let's pretend not do that. So one really super cool thing from working on Canva on your computer or your tablet is that you can actually hover over the image that you're wanting and drag it into where you're wanting to replace it to, which is really cool. But on your phone, you can't do that. So I'm not on my phone, I'm on my tablet. But if you were on your phone, what you would want to do is you would want to click on whatever it is that you're wanting to replace. You would, in theory, like I just tried to do, you would click on whatever it is over here that's your personal photo that you're wanting to use instead of this one. And then in theory, if you're on your phone, it would replace it. However, I'm on my computer. So what I want to do is I want to drag it and then I'm just going to replace it. Now, obviously, I don't plan on keeping it like, well, actually, let's do this instead. Nope. Nope. That's what the back button's for. Because now I just realized proportionate wise that doesn't make any sense. So let's just do that for now. Okay, so super cute, right? If you didn't already know, that's the warmer of the month. So just for an example, like I said, that was a photo that I had downloaded. As you can see, I was able to easily move that over and create a whole nother look, to what I want to do, which is a lot of fun. And so one thing that I do want to go over real quick, like I was saying earlier, is your background color. And that's why I wanted to add this photo here before we do the background color. So we're going to go back and click on that little square right there. And let's see, I'm going to scroll, if it'll let me scroll down. Well, let's see, let's do something else because obviously it's being stubborn. Let's do a different photo real quick. Let's do, what else can I do? Let's pick, I don't know if it'll let me, let's just do a personal photo of mine and see if it'll do it then. Let me go back here because it's supposed to do something, but it doesn't seem like it's working. I wonder. No, don't want to do that. Go there. No, don't do that. Well, I think because I've already created, like, as y'all can see here, this is actually my template. Like these are actually the color palettes that I have for my brand for this season. So I think that's maybe why it's not letting me change it up. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, what if I, no, don't want to do that either. Okay, that's okay. We can just use what's already on here. So because as you can see here, these are the personal photos that were already in the template. So what's really cool is Canva has actually drawn away the colors and identified them in the photo. And that's what you see here, which is really cool. So you can actually change up your background. So for example, as I said earlier, these are the colors that I have personally chosen for me to use with all my marketing for the season. Now, again, this is something that I did not do like at the beginning of being a Scentsy consultant. This is actually something I've really embraced within the last year. So don't feel bad if you're just like, that's a bit much for me. But I just want to show you guys what is possible when it comes to Canva. So let's go ahead and change the background. So let's just say I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling this blush pink. Let's go ahead and go for that. So as you saw, once I hovered over it, I clicked on it, I immediately was able to change up what the background looked like. And let's just do, Let's see, where do I want to go? Let's go back to my uploaded photos, and then we can just stick with the photos that I actually used at the end of July to tell my customers to add their favorites to Scentsy Club. And then one really cool thing too, as you can see here, is that let's just say, let's go back. So as you can see here, like this particular photo, it's way out of like range. So it's not really like centered as much. So if you're wanting to use like a personal photo like this, you can actually double click on it and then drag it down and then crop it into like how you want it to be seen. And let's just say, for example, you're like, you know what, this collage is like too much. So then if you're wanting to, you can actually take things away. Now, I'll show you an example. If you're wanting to delete everything, then you would click on where it says, I believe, delete frame. Yep. However, if you're wanting to replace the photo, another option is you can actually click on delete image. And then it's going to leave you with a blank canvas like that. So that's something for, like, just one example. Like I said, if you're wanting to create like an album cover for any of your groups, easily something that you can use that's already, see here is like, they're called templates that you can already choose. It obviously doesn't even have to be fall. I mean, anything that your heart's desire, it's pretty much on here. And like I said, you search for keywords, whatever you're wanting to do. And then what's really awesome is that once you find the template that you want to work with, you'll just scroll down and you'll click on whatever it is. So, you know, I don't know, let's just say, let's do another random one. And you'll notice some of these, it's interesting. Some of these are actually like fixed to where you can't edit them like at all. And then others you can. Let's just say, I wonder if there's like a back to school one. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back entirely. Let's do something different. So I have one thing, like with it being August, I know that a lot of kiddos are going to be going back to school. So a lot of us consultants, there are products that we can do for like back to school gifts for teachers, first day, little gifts for teachers as well. So let's just click on create design and let's just do, let's just pick a card. That'll give us like a smaller area to work with. And it looks like it's uploading. And like I said, the templates that are already created, I definitely just recommend using and starting with, and then just playing around with like what colors you want to do. Let's see, back to school. And, you know, too, if you like the template the way that it is, as far as the colors, keep it as is. There's nothing wrong with it either. All right, so I don't want to do, almost chose Pro again. Let's just do too many options. Let's do that one. Let's see. And then everything on here, like I said earlier, you guys can totally manipulate and then change. Let's see. Let's just say teacher. And then that part, you could always leave blank if you're wanting to. That way, you know, if you're giving it to like a customer that has a kiddo, they can actually sign it if they wanted to themselves. And then we could just say something like, have a great first day. And then obviously that's too big. So then you really just want at that point, just play around with like the text size or the font size. And you just want to make sure too that it's centered. There's no really right or wrong way of doing any of this. It's just playing around to like how you want it to look. Let's see, that's a little too small. One really nice thing too, along with like a color palette, like if you're wanting specific colors to use for all your marketing things, for example, font comes with that as well. So that's something that we can definitely do another training on if you guys are wanting to do, like I said, a little bit more diving deep into like branding. That's actually a lot of fun. So as you can see here, these fonts, yeah, so like, see, there's my name right there, Faith and Soul. So these are actually the 3 fonts that I use more often. And so I like them enough to where I did add them into like what they call like your branding on Canva. So that's a lot of fun. Now, for those of y'all that have been around for a little bit with Scentsy, you might have heard others talking about like branding kits. There are branding kits that you can actually download and pay for. To each their own. I actually tried that for a little bit and it wasn't for me. It was just way too detailed, way too complicated. I'm all about work smarter, harder. I like to be creative, but you know, I got to draw the line somewhere. And so this is actually somewhere where you could change the font up if you were wanting to, if you're wanting to be a little bit extra, or you just keep it as is if you're wanting to, either way. And then same thing. So like, again, this is another template that you could change and make it your own. So let's just say, for example, I'm not feeling the yellow. You could do it to like navy. And then obviously you would want to change up your font color because you can't see it right. So then you go there. And then again, I'm choosing my colors that I have saved, but the sky's the limit as far as what other colors you guys want to use. So yeah, so that's pretty much the extent of ideas of what you can do. And these, by the way, work really well when you're able to create something like this and then you can save it. So I'll give you an example because I know on our team, Rachel was wanting to know specifically how to print 4 to a page. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to show her exactly, more than likely, what she's been doing. But I do want to show the rest of y'all just in case, I don't know, you just maybe not know. So let's just say we're satisfied with that. What you want to do from there is you want to click on where it says share. And if you're wanting to download it and save to your computer, that's where you would click here where it says download. And then you would click on download again. And then it's going to save it to your phone, computer, laptop underneath your photos. And then you would go to where your downloaded images are at. And so it would be saved there. So let's just hop over real quick. That way I can show you guys if you're wanting to print from home. Super simple. I mean, it's pretty much like you would print anything else from your tablet or your computer or your phone. For me, when I'm printing, I actually much prefer to print from my tablet just because I'm able to select multiple images. All right, so there it is right there. So I'm going to hover over it. And then I'm going to click print. Now, in my opinion, I now prefer using, I was doing this earlier today. I don't know why. It's so weird. I actually prefer using the like hard cardstock just because it's a little bit fancier. But to be honest with you guys, again, going back to when I first started off with Scentsy, I didn't use cardstock the whole time, especially in the beginning because it's a little bit more expensive. So computer paper would do just fine. So you definitely want to get more bang for your buck, but it also depends on what you're going to use this for. So for example, for me, I would probably want to use this as like little gift tags. So you could do it like wallet size if you were wanting to, or you can actually do it 4 to a page. So I know that's what Rachel was actually talking about. And again, your computer, your tablet may look a little bit different from mine, but what I do is you just select your image and then you'll go to, you know, where you want to print it. And then I prefer doing it to the 3x5 by 3.5 by 5 inches. So it's 4 to a page. And then what I want to do is I want to click on where I'm upping the copies to 4. And then here it is where it actually then copies it over 4 times. And then of course, you know, do the math depending on how many more, you know, you want to print out. And then, like I said, this is something I like to print out like on cardstock, and then I would punch a hole in the corner and then tie it off on like a cute little bag for the teacher. All right, so that is just one example. And then what I want to do before we end our training is I real quick just want to briefly go over a couple of things that I personally did for my marketing for this year for the catalog. And then again, these are things that you guys don't have to do. It's just I've actually just wanted to do this just for fun over time. And I originally, and I'll show you in a little bit what I started out with, which was the templates in the Facebook group. But this is actually what I have now that I created. And so what's really cool is that I shared this template with a lot of like the leaders. And when you share a template again, what's really cool is anytime you come across a link that someone shares and they say like, oh, here's my template, I'm going to share it out with you guys. What's really awesome is you're able to save that to Canva, and same thing, you're able to, let's just say that this is one that I shared with you guys, right? This is my cover photo for my catalog for this season. And let's just say you're like, you know, gnomes are not really my thing, or I'm not really digging the colors. Well, same thing, you could actually go through, you can click on that if you wanted to. Same thing, hover over the square that you see that has the designated color, come over here. Now, as you can see, oh, see, this is what I want to show you guys. See, I've already added product, like my photo here, and then I have the Scentsy fragrance flower, and then the travel twist. So how cool is that? Is that Canva, again, identified all of the colors that coincide with these photos. And so they're basically saying like, okay, you know, these are the photos that you like and you're wanting to showcase. So they're actually opening a window for you to choose color palettes that will actually complement one another instead of choosing just any color at random. So let's just say, for example, you're not really feeling the blue and you're more of like a vibrant, bright color person. So if you want to do pink, see, it's like, it's super cool. So it's really just, like I said, a matter of just playing around. But I'm going to go back to the original way it was because I don't want to change it and then forget about it. Let's see. So that's just a possibility of like a cover photo. One thing that I really like that I did not create on my own, but again, I was able to go through and edit and then change the colors of, let's see if I can find it, was the info for Scentsy Club. Let's see, I think it wasn't too far down, so it shouldn't take me too long. And as y'all can see, for Team Faith and Soul, those of y'all that see the shout outs on our team page, this is actually also where I create that as well. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I definitely did not type this up. So God bless the Scentsy consultant who created this, because I was not patient enough to do this myself. So thankfully, thanks to whoever that was that shared it with us. Let's see. Looks like it's loading. So one thing that's really cool is that this is not at all originally the way it looked. It honestly didn't even have the floral here. This is actually something that's part of my brand, so I added it in. I wish I had the original of how it looked, but I don't think I have them anymore. But the way that it originally looked was that it was actually very bright, vibrant colors. And again, as you can see here, I switched over all of the colors to match my palette that I created for the season. But all this content here, like I said, was something, it was a template that was shared from another Scentsy consultant. So that's pretty much about it for Canva. I'm going to hop on over to Facebook, which I thought I already had, but apparently not. Let's see. So for those of y'all that are on Facebook, there is a page that you can ask to be invited to, and you can add yourself to and then just wait for the acceptance, which it really shouldn't even take that long. Let's see, my computer is like dragging now. Let's see. So it is actually called Canva. Yeah, Canva Scentsy Boss Babe. There we go. And then, like I said earlier on the live, what's really cool about this group, I think it should be loading. What's really cool about this group is that everything that's shared in there is solely based on Canva templates only. So this is, anyone has access to this, by the way, so not just directors. And it can actually be anyone, even if you just join Scentsy. And honestly, same thing. If you're looking for something specific, feel free to type it into here to the search engine. Otherwise, you'll see if you ask to be a part of this group, you'll see that there's content that's honestly uploaded like at least every hour on the hour. But there's so much to choose from. But I just want to see, hopefully I can find something real quick that I can snag and then show you guys, if you're joining this group, how you can change it. Let's just see. I'm going to try to type in catalog cover, because there are a lot of consultants that like to create their own catalog covers. Let's see. Hopefully I'll get lucky and be able to come across one. I don't know if I want to use that one. Oh yeah, see, look there, like someone already created 4, and then they shared the Facebook cover photo. That's really cool. I was trying to find one that had a little bit more content. So this is actually really cool. This is a lot of fun. If you see this here, this is actually a scavenger hunt that Cincy consultants always come up with, it seems like, for every catalog season. So that's something that I do encourage you trying out with your customers. I know my customers in the past couple of years have had a lot of fun with that. Let's see. I'm going to try to see if I find something real quick. I don't really get on this page as much as I used to, just because like I said earlier, there's so much that is shared. But if you're looking for something in particularly, like this would be the way I would go. Oh, you know what? I'll use this because I actually used her template at the beginning of last catalog season for myself. So let's go ahead and just use hers. So when you're clicking on the link in that group that someone has shared, as far as their template goes, it's going to, of course, as you can see, redirect you to Canva. And then you're going to click on where it says use template. And then what's nice is that this means that the consultant has shared their template with us, and it's not going to mess up the original design. So if you're ever sharing, by the way, something out with someone from Canva, make sure and share the template and not the original, because that has definitely happened to me before. All right, so as you can see here, hers is actually just uploaded into the page, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just because it looks really small. Oh, of course, now I went in too large. So same thing as the templates that Canva has. This is something obviously that a Cincy consultant has created. So for example, one thing that you would want to change is this here. So I know that a few of you guys on Team Faith and Soul had asked about QR codes. So real quick before we end the live, I'll show y'all. So this is obviously her QR code. So if you're ever borrowing or using someone else's content, just make sure and remember that. If you don't change anything else, change the QR code. All right, so I'm going to show y'all, or I'm going to teach y'all real quick how to snag and create a QR code. So for example, on that, it talks about going to your website. So you would want to open up a new tab, type in your website, so whatever your name is, .cincy.us. And then what you want to do is you don't want to choose a specific party, because if someone has this QR code like 2 months from now, who's to say that that party, that party link is still going to be there? So what you want to do is you want to copy and paste your basic, no party attached to it, your PWS link. So I'm going to copy that. And then we're going to hop on over to where we were. So we're on Canva again. And super simple enough. It's not hiding. You just got to scroll down. See where it says here QR code? We're going to click on that. Canva makes it so easy. And it was not always like this. So then now all we're going to have to do is just click on where it says paste, generate QR code. And then now obviously we're going to have to make it smaller. So we're going to do that. We're going to snag it, drag it, and then just start in that top corner. And then we're going to make it a little bit smaller and then drag it back to make sure it fits in. Yep. And there you go. That's my QR code. Now, if you're feeling extra fancy, you can click on it and then you can edit the image and then put like a, what do they call that? Like a frame around it. But you know, again, I'm like, work smarter, not harder. But let's just say that I did that. And then one more thing, same thing with like the color, you guys. You can click on this. You could edit the wording if it's not your word of choice. Like I said, the sky is the limit. But that's what's really cool. And the one thing I didn't realize with Canva is that you can use templates that are already created, and it just makes it so much easier. All right, so let's get back on our Zoom.
I have a question.
Stop sharing. Yes, ma'am.
So the QR code came from Canva? All you did
No.
was put your website in and Canva made your QR code?
Yes, that is correct. So all you have to do is, it doesn't matter what you're wanting to create with your QR code. It can be, let's see, I'm trying to think of another QR code that I've had before. Pretty much everything on the Scentsy website. Because like, let's just go back. Let's see, I'll share it one more time. Let me share my screen. Yeah, because before, when I first joined Scentsy, I didn't even know what Canva was, for one. But what was really crazy was I actually had an app, and there was all these things that I had to do to create the QR code. Let's see, I'll go back to my website. And then, yeah, so it's so much simpler than what it used to be. So let's just say, for example, I don't want to do necessarily my website for them to shop from. Let's just say, for example, I'm like, add your favorites to Scentsy Club. Well, I can click on anything on my website, and once it redirects me to on where it talks about Scentsy Club, you can actually, same thing, you can go here and then you can copy it. So like that. So I just remember, like, I highlighted it, I copied it. Same thing, I'm going to hop back over to Canva, and then all you have to do is right here where it says QR code, you're going to click on that. And then all you have to do is just paste it. So you've copied and then you pasted. Yep. And then there it is. It creates that QR code. And then that QR code, that one specifically, of course, was for joining Scentsy Club. And then once it's created, all you have to do is just figure out, you know, where you want to place it.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me go back there. Stop share. Now, I'll say, like, one thing is that whenever someone's first starting out with like their Scentsy business and they're trying to figure out like what it is that they're wanting to do with Canva, obviously a lot of the things that I showed are a little bit more advanced, but like what I did show, which was like Scentsy Club and the information for Scentsy Club, that's something that any consultant, no matter if they just started or if they've been around for a while, that's something specifically that anyone could use. Now, as far as how to like get it out there once it's created, no matter what you're doing in Canva, there's multiple ways that you can do that. Like, for example, like y'all might have seen earlier, I do create my, of course, I think they're all packed away now, but I create all the teams. What is it? I do the templates where it's like the PRV shout outs. So things like that, you can create something in Canva, save it to your phone or your computer, and then upload it to Facebook or wherever else that you're wanting to on like your computer or your phone. Otherwise, if you're wanting to actually physically have it in hand, then you can either print it out from your own printer, or I'll show y'all real quick. Let's see, let me share my screen one more time. There's actually a place on Canva that you can order whatever it is that you're creating. If you're wanting it to be actually like physically printed out, you can go up here. Let's see, you can click on where it says share, and then you can actually click on here where it says print your design. Let's see. Or I don't know if it's maybe because I didn't save it. Let me see. Let me go back. It's probably because I didn't save for design. Let's pick one. I'll choose something that's already in here. And then your options that you have is that you can either have Canva printed out. And what I mean by that is they'll actually deliver it to you. Usually it's like FedEx that delivers it. So let's just say, let's just go on Cincy Club. And you can either have it delivered and then FedEx delivers it to you, or if you have a local FedEx store near you, like if you're near where I live and you're watching the replay, there's a FedEx location not so close to us, like it's kind of like in between, but it's in Webster. So it has to be a FedEx store, and it's actually you pay for the print itself, but there's no cost at all for FedEx to print it out, which is really cool. So let's just say, for example, you wanted this one. And like I said, this is something that, like, I think the more we train in Canva, the more templates I'll share on our team page. Let's see. So for example, if I wanted that one to be printed, you could go to print your, why is it doing that? Like it did that earlier. I think, okay, that's what, I'm sorry about that. So it's actually, I guess it's just asking me what I want it to look like. Oh gosh. Let's see. Oh, that's something fun. I didn't know I could actually print out stickers, but I do my own stickers, so, but that's good to know. Oh Lord, let's just say, that's so weird. I've never seen this before. Why not? Let's just click on invitations. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think it's still dragging. I think it's trying to upload from there. I'm like, I did say I wanted to order them as invitations. It's like, nope, try again. Let's see. Let's try one more time. There we go. I guess it's just being stubborn. So let's just say, for example, you're wanting to order it, and then invitation wise, basically all that means really is that just the measurements of it would be, you know, as you can see here, would be like a 7x5. So let's just say, for example, for that, because I just want to show y'all like how you would order it. So we don't need a back, so we're just going to leave that as is. And then from here, you can see that you can decide how many you want to order. Now, sometimes it is cheaper to print it out at home for yourself. You really just have to outweigh, you know, ink. Are you going to go through ink a lot? What kind of printer do you have? Like, for example, this is something that I printed out in bulk because it does talk about Cincy Club, and it's not like Cincy Club is going anywhere. And so I ordered them in the bulk. So it does tell you like how much it would be per invitation. So like, for example, if you wanted to order, just start with like 25 of something, then it's 99 cents per invitation, or we'll just say per print because invitation is confusing, per print, and then it would be $24.75. So you would pay that $24.75, but if you wanted to pick it up in the store, there's no extra cost. So let's just say, for example, like I was saying, let's just say hypothetically, we're going to order 25 copies. And then if you wanted to, let's see, we'll go to continue. And then if you do have an option to have it printed out your FedEx, it would list it as before you check out. And this is really cool too. So as you can see here, it's catching and let me know like, hey, this little print here, when we print it out in this, you know, measurement and the size, this is going to be cut off. So you can always go back and edit that if you want to. Otherwise, you can just click continue and then just keep pushing through. And then it does remind you as well, as you can see here, to make sure and proofread, to make sure everything looks good. So for now, obviously, if I was wanting to order, I would just click on checkout. So one thing that's really cool too here, as you can see, is that again, you're paying for the prints, but even if you wanted it to be shipped to your personal house, to your home, you can have it printed out and then shipped to you. And then as you can see here, they don't charge, which is really cool. And this never changes, by the way. Like I've been with Canva for over a year now and used Canva. And if I do have it shipped to me, if I'm not in a hurry, then I'll do this, which is the economy. Otherwise, if I'm needing it sooner than later, then I'll have it shipped and printed at my local FedEx. Let's see. Yep, so that's pretty much about it. I just want to make sure y'all saw that and that you know that you can actually have somebody else print it out for you and you don't have to print it out yourself. So let me hop back over to here. stop sharing my screen. Oh, I guess Wybon had to go. Rachel, did you have any questions as far as like anything that we went over tonight?
No, I just had to laugh because you still use something other than the Canva to print the postcards.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said that, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was like, I'm sure there's another way to like figure out how to print forward to a sheet through Canva. But
Oh,
when you were asking me about it,
I hit every button possible.
oh, give me 1 second. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna wrap up the recording real quick,
Okay.
and then we so thank you guys so much for watching the replay. If you're catching the YouTube channel, make sure and reach out to me through whatever device you want to chat through if you have any questions. Otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And until next Saturday at 7 p.m., we will see you then. Bye. Maybe.